Now we've designed our graphic, we've also got it matching our brand. We're going to show you a few examples of how we can work with the different artboards here on Canva. You may call them pages, it doesn't matter too much as long as we've got a good idea of what they do. So first of all, we can add a page title. So we could call it sample 1 and then sample 2 here. Just so we can differentiate from the two different options, we could, as we did last time, we brushed upon it, we can duplicate a page, and then I could choose our third option, which has got the yellow background. And we could very quickly change the white to the navy. I could, of course, change that logo as well, but we're not going to do that right now. This is just to give you an example of how the three different variations could work. We could decide to upload a navy version of our logo and potentially go with that one. All three fit our brand. We could rename page 3 then obviously to sample 3. And then we've got different page names in all of these options. So if we were to send or share this document with someone else, they'd be able to differentiate the three. So that's how we can duplicate and rename pages. If we wanted to reorganize them, you could use the arrows to move designs up and down. Of course, you may want to then rename the sample versions if you change the order of them, just to avoid any confusion. That's essentially how we're working with multiple pages or multiple artboards within Canva. Nice and straightforward. We've also got the option to delete a page or add a new blank page. So it's quite clever in terms of it picks up the background color. So here we've got a photo in a frame that's on an angle. This is actually a background color for the entire canvas. So I can select it and delete it and we go back to a white canvas, or we could bring in some of our own artwork and resize it into place. There's a lot we can do with the artboards, but it's essentially very straightforward. So we're going to keep those three options. And now we're going to show you something a little bit different. We can have a look at the file folder here. So a relatively new feature is the option to add rulers. So we can see now that there's a ruler across here and here. That can help to give you a good clear eye of it as well. We can also show guides as well. We'll have a full chapter on guides and rulers coming up in the intermediate section of this course. We can also show print bleed as well. So if we're creating graphics for print, Canva have their own printing run as an option. You can take it to your local copy shop. You can see then to make sure that we've got enough overlap for this 2mm bleed. Print designers will know exactly what I mean by that. For those of you who don't, again, we're going to have a chapter that covers preparing artwork for print. So I'll just disable that for now. Here we can make a copy. So this is quite good if you wanted to use this example, add additional artwork in, change the title so it could be for one of our other Box of Tricks series, and then we can keep that style carrying through. But I'm going to show you how we can resize graphics for other usage. For example, if I wanted to change this to a Facebook cover, I can select that and then it will copy the document and resize it in a new document. So I don't lose our existing design. That's really important. I don't lose that in the process. Now all of a sudden we're on a different ratio. So I could scale up the image. That's quite important that we don't lose that effect. I can then move the Canva logo can change our text box, but at this stage now, when we're moving to a different orientation, we're almost certainly going to need to change our font sizes and also the widths of each of the blocks. I could map it out slightly differently, and I could also now change this sentence so it's on one line. Can then increase the font size. I might increase our logo size as well. When we're working with PNG files, if we enlarge them so much, we might see a little bit of fuzziness around it. Now we're zoomed in quite a bit here, so we can take it back out a little bit, just to see what it's like a little bit smaller on the screen. So there we have it. We've now adjusted to a Facebook banner size. We could also play around. We might decide actually for the Facebook banner, because we're going to have the logo on the Facebook page, we're going to get rid of that completely. And this arrow here may not work. So again, if I hold the Shift key, 2, 3, 4, 5 across, just so it stops it overlapping. Of course, another quicker way of selecting that arrow is by selecting this text block and then sending it to the back. When you send it to the back, it will still appear above the background color. And I can select the arrow because it's on the layer above the text block if I send that one to the back. So for this option, I might go for something simpler, because we're already on that Facebook page. I'll leave this Canva graphic in. I might just bring it in a little bit further. And I'm just visually checking the margins, making sure we've got nice consistency. I can snap the sentence to go directly below the title. But because this is a larger font size, you can see it's a couple of pixels over than this here, which is right up close to the bounding box. So sometimes I will just nudge it over without pressing the Shift key, using the right cursor. Just a couple, just to get it to align visually. I know it's strange, even though these blocks are no longer aligned, the text within them is aligned to the left because of the spacing there. You may think I'm being a bit pedantic, but hey, I'm a designer. What I could do now, just to wrap this chapter up, is I could decide to then go through and match all of these to the one above by eye, but that's a lot of work. So what I can do instead is duplicate this page and now keep these until I've recreated them, and I'm going to create the same color. So select these fonts. You can see a lot with Canva that I will drag over it. It won't select the background color, but if you hover over the background image frame, it will select all of those layers. So I can hold down Shift and click on the image to deselect it. And that's something I do a lot of, is I might select everything just to make sure there's nothing left behind, and then hold Shift and then click on the areas I want to deselect. If I wanted extra level of control, I could group multiple elements together so I don't have to click and drag over elements again to reselect them. The yellow won't really jump out. I can highlight it and then add an underline. And I'm going to duplicate it one more time. But I'm going to use this version to duplicate, not the original, simply because when we change the background color on option 3, we've got the same text colors. So now, relatively quickly, I've managed to recreate these graphics. And I can delete the other options. And now we've got the same design in a different orientation. If I go back to our original, that's still available and saved. And instead of this copy of, I could just rename this to Facebook banner, just so I can differentiate them when I go to open designs.